The rain was relentless that afternoon, hammering against the windows of the small cafe where Jonah Fletcher sat hunched over his coffee. His hands, calloused and strong from years of hard work as a single dad, trembled slightly, not from cold, but from the exhaustion of a life that had never been easy. He had spent the morning juggling his job, his 6-year-old daughter's school, and a dozen unpaid bills. Life had a way of wearing him down, but he never gave up. Not for himself, and certainly not for Mia. And yet, today was different. Today he noticed her. She was sitting across the street, her wheelchair stuck halfway on the wet curb, eyes brimming with frustration and fear. She tried to push forward and then stopped. "I can't walk. Leave me," she said loudly, as if the world had grown too heavy for her shoulders. Most people would have ignored her, whispered pity behind their hands, or hurried past. But Jonah didn't. He stood, coffee forgotten, and waded into the downpour toward her. If you believe in kindness and second chances, hit like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Heartbeat Tales, because some stories prove that one small act can change everything. Jonah knelt beside her, his own coat soaked, heart pounding. "Hey," he said gently, "you don't have to do it alone." She looked up at him, her eyes filled with skepticism and a hint of despair. Her name, he learned moments later, was Celeste. She had been injured months ago, an accident that left her temporarily unable to walk, and each day since had been a battle against her own frustration and stubborn pride. "I said leave me," she repeated, trying to push him away, her wheelchair trembling with her effort. Jonah didn't budge. Instead, he smiled, a small, weary smile that somehow carried strength. "I don't leave people who need help. Trust me on this." He reached out his hand, not to pull, but to steady her. Slowly, hesitantly, she allowed him to guide her wheelchair off the curb, across puddles. That soaked their shoes. The rain didn't matter, the world didn't matter. It was just him and her, and the rawness of the moment. Jonah's own life was far from perfect. Widowed for nearly 2 years, raising Mia alone, he had learned the hard way that love and compassion weren't always rewarded. But looking at Celeste, at the fear behind her eyes, he remembered the promise he had made to his daughter to never give up on kindness, no matter how tired or broken he felt. And so he carried her, not literally, but with every ounce of patience, every gentle word, every laugh he coaxed from her lips despite the tears over the next weeks. Jonah and Celeste formed a routine. He helped her with her physical therapy, his own morning starting before dawn to prepare breakfast and school for Mia before rushing to the hospital where Celeste was regaining strength. There were setbacks, moments where frustration boiled over into tears and shouts, but Jonah never left. He waited patiently while she struggled to take a single step, clapped when she made it, and offered quiet encouragement when the world seemed cruel and unfair. It wasn't just physical healing he offered, it was emotional. Celeste had withdrawn from friends, afraid of judgment, afraid of pity. Jonah reminded her daily that strength wasn't in hiding pain, but in facing it, even when it scared her, and slowly she began to trust him, not just to help her walk again, but to stand by her through the storm of her own fears. One evening, Jonah found Celeste sitting by the window, wrapped in a blanket, staring at the city lights glimmering through the rain. "I never thought someone would stay," she whispered. Jonah sat beside her, careful to leave room for her independence. "I told you," he said softly, "I don't leave people who need help. And you? You're worth it." For the first time in months, Celeste smiled. Not a polite, half-hearted smile, but a real, soul-deep smile. Months passed. Celeste learned to walk with a cane, then unaided. Jonah continued his juggling act, work, parenting, therapy appointments, but he never missed a step in supporting her. One rainy afternoon, nearly a year after they first met, Celeste took Jonah's hand and said, "I couldn't have done any of this without you." His eyes welled up, not from sorrow, but from the quiet triumph of perseverance and love. Sometimes It takes a single act of courage to change a life. Sometimes it takes refusing to turn away when the world says it's easier to ignore. Jonah and Celeste's story was not about perfection, nor about grand gestures. It was about showing up every single day, even when it was hard, even when no one else would. And in the quiet moments, they found something extraordinary: trust, companionship, and a second chance at life they never imagined. Special request: if this story inspired you, remember to share a small act of kindness today. It might be the lifeline someone desperately needs. If this story touched your heart, please engage with the video, like, comment, and share it with someone who needs hope. Because in a world that can often feel cold, these moments of courage and love remind us why kindness matters.